ratio when we have the water content versus the vertical effective stress. By looking at the graph here, I can see that the test run successfully, and now I'm ready to remove my sample from the frame so I can take the water content. There is a load that is still applied from the last load increment in the consolidation table. So to remove that load, we have two ways. I can do it through the computer there, or since I'm here, it's more convenient to do it through the keypad and the LCD. So I'll go on the menu here. It says 1, 2, 2 is position, so I go to position. And now I'm into a sub-menu that gives me the options of raising the platen, lowering the platen. And what I'll do, I do 2, lower, and enter. So now it's going to lower my platen. So I can release the load. I'll make sure that once the load is released, I just hit escape key to stop it. Now the load is released, sample is going to have a tendency to swell up. It's going to give me wrong water content at the end. So I'll make sure that I hold it together, and so that nothing will happen. So I got my sample here, and then I go to the sink and I dump the water. There's a sink over there. I'll just dump the water here. Oops. So the next step, what you do is you're going to take the sample apart by removing the loading pad, and then the centering ring, the top porous stone, and you get your sample here. You make sure you remove any excess water that is on the outside. So you dab lightly here, take all the water content, the extra water, and the first thing you're gonna do, you take the filter paper that was at the bottom, had stayed at the bottom, otherwise you'll have to remove it. You can see that the sample has consolidated, so it's below the rim of the ring. And now what you need to do is take this whole specimen in the ring and weight that. So you're going to record the weight, then take the soil out, put it in a moisture can, and take the water content, the final water content at the end of the test. And your test will be done. The next, in terms of water content and sample. Now, once you take the sample out, you need to clean up the ring and put very light coating of vacuum grease inside, so that minimizes the side friction of between the soil and the inner wall of the ring. So that will be done. And with the sample here, with the test result, you just print out the results, and you're not going to have the water content, the final one, but you can print the summary report in terms of vertical strain. So, and that's actually the recommended value. So you go into the report settings, and then you hit strain, you do apply, it will automatically change that, the vertical axis here in strain. And then you go to view and print, and then you get a printout that will look like these here from the printer. This is a black and white, and you can print it in color. So you got all the information. You can print the graphs, you can print the tables, and you have several options how to report the data. And this applies to all the other tests, either direct shear or triaxial or permeability. So if you go into the report and table, and view next page. You have data here that is already processed. So what you can do, you can right-click, select all, copy, and then you paste it into the spreadsheet. It's very simple. Or if you want to do your own data reduction, what you can do, you can go into view next page, and you have all the data here, and you can plot them again. There's also another option usually used for universities, which is dumping the data. So if you go to file dump, it will give you columns of time, load, and displacement. And from there, you can process your data on a spreadsheet. So you have several options available to you in terms of data and what you can do. Now, if there is a glitch in the data for whatever reason, something happened, there is an option here under report, edit, and you can edit the data, the raw data. You can delete a point or the sets of points. But what I do recommend, if you're going to edit the data, you always save the original data. So if you delete or edit anything, just save the file as a new file that is edited, because the original data needs to be kept intact. And that will conclude this video clip about the end of the consolidation test.